All right, today's lesson is Go Math 8.3, Solving Systems by Elimination. So today you're going to look at your two equations, and the best way to look at them is to have them vertically, because there's going to be certain times where you have equations that are going to allow you to use this strategy, right, which is canceling out one of the variables to solve for the other one. All right, so let's take a look at this. So think of this as an old school addition problem, vertically up and down. I'll just take a look at what's going to happen here, right? You have a negative 3 and then a negative 3y and a positive 3y. And what's going to happen is those would cancel each other out. All right, so now you're left with 2x plus x, which is 3x, and 12 plus 6, which is 18. And now you're solving for x only. Divide both sides by 3. X equals 6. All right, so I know that's my first part of my intersection point now is 6. And now I can go back to either one of the two equations and I can solve for the other variable by plugging 6 in for x. Okay, so I can start with the first one here. So I'm going to do that. So I'm going to put 2 in for x. So what's 2 times 6? That's 12. Minus 3y equals 12. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to get y by itself. So I'm going to subtract 12 from both sides. Once I do that, I'm left with negative 3y equals 0. Divide both sides by negative 3. And once I do that, 0 divided by anything is 0. So there is my solution set. 6 for x, 0 for y. I can plug them back into the second equation now. And I'll see that it is true if I have the right point. So here we go. 6 in for x. 3 y's, 3 of zeros is 0. So 6 plus 0 is 6. I have it correct. My intersection point is correct. Okay, let's go to the next slide. Try it again. So we're going to go. We're going to eliminate 1 by adding. We're going to add our two equations here. So take a look here. Positive y, negative y, they cancel each other out. What am I left with? X plus x, 2x. I'm going to add vertically here, 7, negative 1. That's like subtracting 1 from 7. So that's 6. Divide both sides by 2. X equals 3. All right, so that's my first point. I go back now, and I plug it into one of my x's to solve for y. So I'm going to pick my first one here. I'm going to put 3 there. All right, so 3 plus y equals negative 1. I'm going to rewrite it so you can see it here. I want to get y by itself, so I subtract 3 from both sides. Once I do that, y equals negative 4. Negative 1 minus 3, adding 2 negatives. I can go back now, plug into the second equation to make sure I have the answers right. So here we go, 3 in for x. Now I'm going to minus a negative 4. That's the same thing as adding positive, right? When you subtract a negative, do the opposite. So now we have 3 plus 4 equals 7. I have it correct. All right, one more example. All right, so let's take a look here. How do I have it set up? All right, my y's will cancel out. 2y, negative 2y. What's left there? 5x. What's left on the right side? 12 plus negative 2. Same thing as minusing 2. That is 10. Solve for x. Divide both sides by 5. X equals 2. Go back now. Plug that into the other variable. To solve for the other variable, 2x's. All right, so 2 times 2 is 4. Plus 2y equals negative 2. All right, so now I'm going to solve for y. I want to get rid of my 4 on this side, so I'm going to subtract 4 on both sides. I'm left with 2y equals negative 6. Divide both sides by 2. Y equals negative 3. So there's my solution point, 2, negative 3. I can plug these back in on the second equation, and I'll see that they equal 12. 2 times 3 is 6, minus 2 times negative 3, so minus a negative 6 is the same thing as adding, equals 12. So